Hello, this is Sahar. I hope you enjoy listening to this podcast.
Last Sunday, my husband and I drove across East Sussex, along the narrow lanes which open up from time to time to give panoramic views across the High Weald. The countryside, with all the trees alive with new leaves, was vivid green, colour so intense that you felt it would hurt your eyes if it were any brighter. This display was set off by the primrose, bluebells and other wildflowers in the hedgerows. A perfect English spring day. We ate our lunch in a pub garden, looking south over the ship-rich English Channel, not far from Brightling, where Squire John, otherwise known as Mad Jack, lies at rest under his pyramid in the churchyard. Fuller lived between 1757 and 1834, and where he's resting is a few miles from the home of Rudyard Kipling, the author of If, which remains to this day the most popular poem in England. Swallows rested in the barns after their long flight from South Africa, and insects hummed in the sunny air. A dog looked around for cats and other intruders on his happy rail. But the English countryside is quieter today than it should be. There is a growing crisis in the orchards and the meadows, and it concerns a group of essential workers on whom we all ultimately depend on for our food and well-being: the humble bees. In the last 2 years, the number of bees in Britain fell by up to 15%. Earlier this year, the British government set aside £2 million to research the fall in the bee numbers, following concern that the continuing decline in hives may begin to affect agriculture. In April, an additional £8 million, which is about $12 million, was committed. So what's the buzz all about? Well, bees. Bees have been in the headlines all month in Britain, and for town dwellers it's too easy to forget that bees are essential to pollinate fruit and vegetables, as well as maintaining wildlife. With around a third of the food we eat, and I'm quoting, coming from crops pollinated by insects, and 90% of the UK's wildflower relying on insects for pollination, this is far from good news. So I watched with fascination BBC programmes on the issue, including a programme entitled Who Killed the Honeybee? And Jimmy the Wild Honey Hunters, which is about an English farmer who travelled to Nepal to meet an ancient group of people who risk their lives to hunt honey from wild honeybee colonies on mountain cliffs dangling bee-covered from homemade rope ladders high above the ground. Fascinating program. Without bees, it would take millions of people several years to do the pollinating jobs that bees do on our behalf year after year. If colony collapse disorder, otherwise known as CCD, which is a bee disease, continues, there could be no flowers, no honey, no vegetables, no fruits, no salad, no vegetable stir-fry, or apple pie on your table. This is how important the bee issue. So what's the agenda this spring? Here's a novel idea. If you're lucky enough to have a garden, why not join a host of celebrities, support the environment, become a beekeeper? You may enjoy reading this inspirational account of a beekeeper, Christine Wolinski, who explains how her bees provide her family and neighbours with sweet relief. Till we meet next time, this is Sahar. Love and light.